Hello, and welcome to you. I am Shoshana, and today we're going to be doing an all signs reading. So let's go ahead and clear the space. We're going to be talking about all the signs today. Let's do more. Some for you. I'm just clearing all the last reading from last week and welcoming in all the signs. Greetings. Hello. I already need to pause it because there's one thing I am missing. Okay, we are back. So while I paused this, the city trucks came by and there was so much noise. And I feel that is exactly what all the signs are dealing with. Waiting. I had to wait. I had to patiently wait to unpause it for the noise to stop. And that is exactly what all the signs are dealing with right now. Waiting. Ophiuchus, let's begin with you. I do not use tarot. I do not channel. I do not search for downloads. I do not have long nails. I only work with medicine cards and positive approved cards. I do not work with dark, lower vibrational guardians. I am simply a scanner and a diagnoser. Ophiuchus. Here, whoa, that is you right now on live time. You are turned over with your tummy down. You have given in to negative habits, negative ways of thinking, addiction, relapse, obsessive addictions, obsessive compulsive disorders, anything of that nature is how you're coming in. Well, let's continue on. The physical work is for you to release those addictions. The inner work is for you to not go against the flow. The natural flow that your ego is trying to go against. It's an ego battle. And it's kind of an ego battle of why you ended up giving in to your addictions to begin with. For some of you, these addictions make you paranoid. You basically feel defeated by your circumstances to the point where you felt like you just had to drop the towel. For your spiritual work, we have making new beginnings. If you're not happy where you are right now in your current situation, make a new beginning elsewhere. There's always so much noise when I try to do these readings. Like, it will be like crickets the whole time, weeks even. No, I'm just kidding. I'm exaggerating and being dramatic. You know, well, maybe that's how you're being right now. Maybe you're exaggerating and being dramatic. You know, maybe your problems are not as big as you think they are, and maybe you're making mountains out of molehills. Exactly. Inspiring without control. Inspire the people that you take care of without having to control or be controlling. And that's very difficult to do whenever you are raising children. It's one of the hardest things to do when raising children is not repeating the same behavior, the same toxic behavior of your parents, especially if you grew up in a dysfunctional upbringing and there was just toxic ways of growing up. It's very difficult to not repeat that when you were around it for so long. And you see the mirroring and you see the reflection of those toxic cycles in how you react or respond to certain negative characteristics or behavior that a child does that you're caring for. And being able to call yourself out on those things to no longer repeat them and break those cycles. I'm just waiting for the background noise to stop. There's just neighbors that are, doing what they do on a Tuesday morning, and I'm one of those people that loves silence. Like, I love silence. I love it so much because it never lasts. It never ever lasts. When you, oh my gosh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I live in this neighborhood where the walls are not walls. The walls are not made of what walls are supposed to be made of. So everything in the neighborhood is heard and vice versa. And it drives me crazy, and I cannot wait to move to a place that has thicker walls where I feel that there is somewhat of audio privacy. I don't know what it is. I cannot stand it when I feel like there's an eavesdropper. You know what I mean? Like when you hear like background noise that someone is making and then you hear them go quiet and you just know they're listening. That drives me crazy. Maybe you're dealing with that. Usually whenever that happens, it's because the person watching is dealing with that. Excuse me. Okay, so remember, guys, these readings are they're just general collective readings. They're not going to resonate with everybody. So if there's something that is not you, it's just not you. So you're needing to raise your vibration back up. It's okay if you fell off the horse, Ophiuchus. It's okay if you fell off the horse. I don't know why I want to give you another one of these. Question the real intention, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whether it is social or romantic, your career, jealousy, or it could also be you. Jealousy destroys all relationships. Selfishness and ego lead to hatred. Recognize those who intend harm before it happens. Protect yourself by concealing your plans. Conceal your plans, remain low key. Okay. You need to raise your vibration before we have these cursed full moons. We're having 2 cursed full moons or 2 eclipses, whatever. You know, whenever there's anything associated with the cursed moon, you need to be on guard. You need to be on high vibe. So a lot of times there will be planetary attacks that happen right before the full moon. There will be planetary attacks of all kinds right before the eclipse because it wants humanity to be at a vulnerable state. A lot of times people like the flu or the fever, these mysterious illnesses will go around before the full moon or an eclipse of any kind to make humanity weakened, at a weakened state and vulnerable. So that when the full moon comes along or the eclipse comes along, it's able to attack and penetrate easier because you're weakened and you've relapsed and you got sick or whatever. Cornucopia is due to you, Ophiuchus, and you know that. That's why you were attacked, and that's why you ended up being like a turtle on its back, on its shell, needing assistance. You're needing to walk away from that negative situation and simply tell yourself, I'm not going to allow that to happen again. We have the bathroom, flushing away. What do you need to flush? What do you need to flush out of your life? Is it a person? Is it a job? Is it everything? Is it a lifestyle? Is it an addiction? Is it a substance? Is it an obsession? It needs to be flushed down the toilet. We have bridging, staying strong and remaining connected to what is important to you. A long distance relationship, perhaps, moving in with your person, getting out of the situation that you're in now to be with the person that you want to be with, that you seem to have already found, but you can't be with because you're dealing with family issues or roommate issues or just housing issues. A change in the wind is what will make Ophiuchus happy. So go on and look for it. We got walking away and a change in the wind right next to each other. So it is clear to me that you have been attacked because you are about to have a breakthrough. And that's why I do these readings, so that you won't fall for it and continue doing what you were planning on doing. Let's do 3 more. And then some for your person. Because I know you have a person. How can you not? How can you not have a person at this time? I think Ophiuchus has a person. But that's just my guess, and it's just a general guess, so. Oh, we have the star of Venus. Venus is doing all kinds of things right now. So if you're feeling your feminine energy, that's okay. Tune into your feminine. Your feminine energy is like a motherly, nurturing, sensitive. It's an overprotective energy that you don't push away that energy. Don't push away this motherly energy that is simply you mothering yourself, a desire for you to mother yourself. Don't push that away. That is what Venus is doing to all signs right now. I felt it myself. I actually felt it yesterday. I like watching a lot of crime shows, and there was this protective energy saying, no, no, you don't want to watch an hour of this. You don't want to watch 30 minutes of that. Just a protective energy not wanting me to, even this morning, I like watching, I like watching scary stuff, true story scary stuff, like documentaries, and I was going to watch that this morning, and then there was this feminine, protective, it's my own energy, but it was like the motherly version of me saying, no, you don't want to watch this for 2 hours, do something that makes you feel good. So listen to that energy. Excuse me. Because that energy is your own protector. It's like your own, it's you. It's you are that feminine version. You are that character. Because we don't do that. We don't do that. When do we mother ourselves? If you really think about it, when do we nurture ourselves in a motherly way? When? And it's like, what is that? What is that? You have to sit there and think, what is motherly? What is, of course, everyone has like the common version, but the real version, because it has to do with yourself. So if you have children, you assume the mother or father role, but that doesn't mean that you know what that role is if you never got that role. So when we are told to be motherly towards ourselves, it becomes a meditation, really. It becomes a meditation because we have to sit there and think what the heck that is when we never had that. We have no idea what that is, My mother, when I was a 2-year-old baby, put me on an airplane to a war-ridden country. She sent all her kids to a war-ridden country so that she can have, I don't know, her marital affairs and get revenge on a cheating husband, So I share that with you just in case you have a really messed up upbringing, and it helps you to hear that there are others who have upbringings that there is no explanation for. There are certain things that happen to us that we can never find a qualified therapist for, because that therapist has no idea, never experienced that firsthand to be able to advise somebody. There's so many doctors and therapists that they have read books and books and books and books, but they have no personal experience. So how can a therapist help you with a certain situation they've never been through firsthand? So here we have Jade taking action. Where in your life do you need to take action? Somebody here is 32 years old. Where in your life do you need to take action? Where you were blocked by a supernatural power and just you felt slapped in the face. Well, that was an attack that didn't want you to get your blessing. Using the color green, going out in nature in the daytime. My God, you can't go camping anymore. A long time ago, we used to be able to go camping. Not no more. Not no more. Those are the kind of things actually that I like watching. I like watching people's experiences of when they went camping for 24 hours or at some forest, and to hear those stories. Oh my gosh. Like the Appalachian Mountain stories, those are crazy. Are these for you? Should we take them? We have 3. I only wanted 1, but maybe these 3 wanted to reach you. I can't even remember what this fish is called. I cannot remember what this fish is called. But there is this fish that has a light in front of it to lure its victims, and the victims go to the light. And when they realize that they shouldn't have, it's too late. And these teeth take you out. And this is coming forward as an omen for you to be careful with people that want to take you out. And they will do that by offering you a beer. They'll offer you a beer. They'll offer to buy shots. They'll hand you a margarita without even asking if that's what you want. Those kind of people. Without realizing the consequences of what that will do to you. So protect your spiritual authority during this time. And pay attention to your intuitive powers, because your intuitive powers are often attacked so that you don't foresee the attack and you get hurt by the attack. Does that make sense? Be more like the honeybee. The honeybee just minds its business and does the simplicity of life, focusing on the simple things in life. What do bees do? They sleep, they cuddle, they work, they turn in their labor, and they do it again and again and again and again, and they don't really get into trouble by staying on the simple aspects of life. And then we have one of my favorite animals. We have the moosie. I love the moosie. I probably say that about all animals. I love animals so much. But the moose, I really have a lot of respect for, simply because of every detail. Every single detail of the moose. How can you be more like the moose that is powerful, strong, and stealthy? I don't know if that's a word. Stealthy. But you don't mess with the moose. You don't want to be like the little victim that gets trapped by this kind of fish. You want to be like a moose. You don't mess with the moose. When you are in your powerful position, or when you're functioning at your highest level, nobody can mess with you. And it's okay if you fell off the horse, you just get back on. So I need you to work on how you can be like the moose. If you get a moose angry, that moose will crush your bones so fast. That's why I admire animals, because their temper is deadly if you get on their wrong side, you know? So that's about all the messages that I have for you, Ophiuchus. Let's do some quick messages. If you are in some kind of separation from a person, sometimes multiple people will try to come through. So if there's different messages, there might be messages that are just from different people. And last one for your person. Okay, so, or sometimes it's your person, sometimes it's an ex, sometimes it's an energy vampire, sometimes it's somebody that you totally want nothing to do with, but they keep showing up in your readings. So we have, I compare others to you. I wish we could go back. I have too much to lose. I can't get enough of you. I wish I treated you better. You and I were too young. I can't stop thinking about you. And just being near you is intoxicating. Okay? So those are the messages for you. And next up we have Aries. Hi, Aries. Let's go ahead and start with the medicine deck for you. What is the physical work that Aries needs to work on during this time? Physical work. Physical work for Aries. Oh, and happy birthday, by the way. I'm pretty sure that it's your birthday season. Okay, we have the first card. I'm going to put it down and I'm going to shuffle two more, so we can just get all our medicine cards. And two. I'm really surprised to see that one. Very interesting. Okay, of course that one is there. Okay, so let's begin with the first card. This is the physical work, and we have all my relations. Aries is having a hard time getting along with people, getting along with their family, getting along with friends, getting along with whoever your dealings are, and the physical work that needs to be worked on is all of your relations. How can you create more of a harmony with the people that you deal with? Moving along to the inner work. The inner work, we have you needing to sit down and be an observer. And that might surprise you, but when this card comes up as the inner work that needs to be done, it means that you don't really have to do anything right now. Where a lot of you might be feeling like there's something huge that you need to do or a big change that needs to be made. Meshing that in with the current circumstances, political affairs, international affairs, ultimately, the inner work here is to continue. I want to say continue, or that you are being asked to just sit back and observe. Like maybe there are these issues that will just work themselves out without you having to lift a finger. And for the spiritual advice, we have you needing to reconnect with Source. You have disconnected from Source a long time ago. And the spiritual advice here is to reconnect with Source. So I'm actually going to flip these over and leave them here for a couple minutes, just in case there's any other messages that want to come out of them. And let's continue. Okay, we have TikTok. We have a clock over here where there's something in your life that the time is up for. I feel that it has to do with the creating the harmony in your relationships that you do have. Some people have a lot of relationships. Some people have a very small amount of relationships. But it's important to appreciate those because we don't know how long they're going to be here. This could be simply calling someone that you haven't called in a really long time, checking on a family member. Oh, and then we have the two little penguins that are loving each other. And this one right next to it. Are you neglecting somebody? What happens when you stop watering your roses? What happens when you stop watering your roses? You don't want to harm what you have by neglecting it and making your person feel neglected. What do you think, what kind of consequences do you think will happen if you are neglecting certain I want to say certain things that are snowballing as you do nothing about them? And I know that doesn't make sense with the sitting back and observing, because I feel like the sitting back and observing is more physical, and I feel like the harmony needing to be created with all of your relations is more social. Needing to take more of a social action as opposed to, physical, for whatever that means. These are just general. This may not resonate with everybody. If it doesn't resonate with you, It's simply someone else's story that needs to hear it. And then we have Australian agate. Beautiful Australian agate asking you to be compassionate and gentle towards yourself, but also being compassionate and gentle towards others that are affected by you. I feel that Aries and Leo are two signs that have a really hard time with resentment. And you need to be reminded that any kind of resentment creates disease. And it's so important for you to release any resentment that you have. It's not for them. It's not for them, as I always say, because people get very defensive. Even if they didn't deserve it, it's not for them. It's for you. You release the resentment and you forgive the wrong that that person wronged you with, even if it's on a daily thing that has to be done, where you just forgive or release, or pretty much clearing the resentment on a daily basis. You want to clear that resentment, because that resentment is the equivalent to energetic mold. Okay? Oh, this one is not supposed to be here. Needing to work on resolving the issues that make you anxious. So there are certain issues that you're going through. It doesn't really matter where those issues are coming from. They could be all kinds of issues, but ultimately the anxiety that you're getting from the issues or circumstances, problems that you're having, are affecting your digestion, weakening your digestion, or if not that, weakening your light, obscuring your light, your gene dan, where your gene dan might have been really strong, your gene dan might have been weakened by this anxiety. So what needs to be cleared is not the anxiety, but what is causing the anxiety. And there's an issue that is causing you anxiety that you're not doing anything about, that you can easily fix, but you refuse to fix it because of either fear or ego. So by you not fixing it, the anxiety is growing. Or if not anxiety, there's an illness. There's an illness that is being created by you not resolving something. When it comes to another situation, you're being asked to be persistent. Be persistent, mean every word you pronounce, remain loyal and true. Trust your vision and intuition, stay the course, and you will succeed. Don't give up. And we have the number 2 here. So there's someone that you are pining after. And this could have something to do with the illness that you have for some of you. Perhaps you're not being persistent enough, and by you, or persistent at all. So then it creates these issues, and those, don't you want those issues to disappear? It's very silly to have those issues just be there and affect you the way that they do when you can easily fix that issue. Where is... Okay, it's up there. Seek no further. Your aha moment is at hand. You have the key. When this card comes out, it means that you are holding the key, and it's like you're not wanting to use it. It's almost like you want to feel pain. You want to continue feeling this pain and uncertainty, suspense, even paranoia sometimes, when in fact you have a key, and if you were to just use it, you will feel like you are on cloud 9. And because you're powerful by nature, your fear is actually sabotaging a potential situation. Because you are refusing to use the key that you're holding. And it has an effect on the people or person that this has to do with. Okay? I'm feeling a lot of nervous energy too. I did not have my coffee, and I'm feeling nervous for no reason. So I feel that a lot of you are nervous to approach a certain individual here. But at the same time, it's like you know that you have to because you don't want to lose them. For some of them, they have no idea how you feel. So they're going to live their life with that assumption, and that is the danger. So really, you need to be nervous more about losing an opportunity than anything else. I'm just being completely honest because you are a very stubborn sign. In fact, I kind of sometimes believe that you are more stubborn than the other signs that are accused of being stubborn. And also needing to heal wherever this is coming from. This fear or insecurity is debilitating and needs to be healed. And there's something that you need to just rip off like a bandage and just get it over with. Okay? And then some of you want to know like a percentage of what the chances are that you're going to lose this person. I'm not going to answer that question because you have to ask them yourself. That's part of what you need to do to get rid of this agony. There's a lesson that you're not allowing to complete. You're just blocking it. You're in your own way. And how can we learn a lesson when we are blocking the lesson? And that lesson might have to do with you having nothing to be afraid of. where for a lot of you, I just feel like whatever it is that you are afraid of is because of a past experience where someone just did you dirty and you just feel like someone is going to do you dirty again and you never want to feel that way again. You never want to feel that way again. You would rather be single for the rest of your life than to feel that way again. An experience that robs you of all sanity. You know, so that is understandable, but I just feel like whatever this situation is, I feel like the other person doesn't deserve it. I feel like they never gave you one single reason to accuse them of being anything like the person that did you dirty, okay? And then we have Sacred Union over here. Do you know how hard it is to get this card? I don't think that you understand. Look at this fat deck over here. This is a fat deck. This is the Rummy Oracle deck that talks about self-love. In almost every single card, it's talking about the most sacred version of self-love and becoming victorious over our own self-hate that we can have because we are only humans, and overcoming that self-destructive patterns within our own minds. Yeah? And a lot of these are independent single cards. Dealing with our emotions. These are not yours. These are just, I just want to show you the artwork of dealing with difficult emotions, dealing with grief. I'm just showing you an example of what kind of cards are in here and how difficult it is to get the Sacred Union, yet you have it. You are dealing with someone who is a sacred union, a power couple, and you are treating them like they are the bottom of the barrel. And maybe that's associated to why you feel any kind of illness, because you are taking something for granted that Source is trying to give you. And when Source gives you something so special and you do nothing, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to feel something. You know, people who settle for less all the time, you hear about it all the time in the world, people settling and settling and settling for less. You don't think there's consequences to that? What is the consequences? Aha, it is unhappiness. All those people who settle, they get married for money, they get married because they have this or they have that. It's all for material reasons. What is the consequence to that? The consequence to that is unhappiness. But in this case, you're being offered happiness and you're rejecting it. And then you're wondering why you feel the way that you feel, because you are sabotaging something that is precious. Okay? There's something called unconditional love. Unconditional love means that you put nothing before that. And there's a situation here that you are putting something before unconditional love. You're saying, no, I don't want unconditional love. I'm going to put conditions. So who wins? The conditions. You're putting all the powers onto the conditions. And that is called, therefore, is turned into conditional love. So if there's anything that you feel for a certain person or situation, it's clear that it's conditional love. Meanwhile, your person is loving you. Where did that card go? Your person is loving you unconditionally while you are showing conditional love. Okay. Anything? Okay, we got that one. Okay, so that's about everything that I have for that. Let's do a color for you. What color does Aries need to work on during this time? Let me just clean up a little bit so we have room for the colors. What colors do you need to work on? We should do this one after, but if I do it after, I might forget. So let's do it now. Colors that Aries needs to work on. Indigo. This color loves coming out for people. I feel like this is one of the most common colors that comes out for people. It's a great color to clear. I like to clear with different colors at different times. But indigo, improving your vision. Okay. There's something that you're not seeing clearly. There's something that you continue to look at the worst case scenario and believing in the worst case scenario, and that is blocking something glorious for you. There's something glorious that wants to come to you, but it can't because you just keep envisioning the worst case scenario and not realizing that by envisioning the worst case scenario, you're kind of creating it, and it's beginning to solidify around the edges. You know, like when you begin to make a house, it's like you're already creating something that you don't want. And you need to stop it at its tracks and start to believe that you are deserving and worthy of something that you gave up on, I want to say. Okay, so let's do a couple cards. I'm finished. And now this is for if you are in separation from a person. Be mindful that sometimes multiple people will try to come forward out of these cards, whether that is a past person, present person, somebody that wants you but you don't want them, etc. I'm just going to lay them all out and then do them after. Oh, they're all facing you. Maybe you'll see them before me, because they're all facing you. Oh, see, that in itself means something. Like, I know I'm grabbing them from here, but okay, that one flew that way, and I'm not going to take it because I'm not taking that one because of the way that it flew over. It was face down over that way. I'm not taking that one. Okay, so we have I Won't Let You Down. I do love you. I miss hearing your voice. I want to start over. And I can't do this. Okay? And honestly, I just can't lie. I feel like this, I can't do this, is this person not being able to handle the situation that you're putting them in. They want more than that. And if you're not, they just can only assume that you don't want to. I just can't emphasize that enough. When you don't tell people things, they can only assume that you don't want it and act accordingly. And I think that that's what's keeping you up at night, is Okay, you came closer than anyone. Finding out the truth crushed me. I want to feel that way again. I'm not available. I feel you even though we are apart. Okay, so you came closer than anyone I feel is your current person. Your current person feels that the connection is the hottest and strongest that they've ever felt in their entire life. Finding out the truth crushed me is an energy vampire that you rejected. I want to feel that way again as your current person. I'm not available as your current person. That they're not available for BS and they can't do the BS. Okay? They need something logical and solid. I feel you even though we are apart. That is your person. Both you and your person feel when you are sad. You both feel when you are happy. And that is all the messages that I have for you. Bye. Hi, Taurus. How are you? How are the hopeless romantics? All right, let's start off with the physical work. What is the physical work that Tauruses need to work on? Okay, we have Great Spirit Source. Physical work is you checking in. Check in with Source about your shadow. There's an ongoing issue. An ongoing issue having to do with your shadow, your lower self characteristics, where you feel that they are just not going away. You feel like there is a part of you that you want to get rid of that is not going away, that is in your DNA or in your lineage. That's what you feel. This energy that just does not go away. And you don't know what to do. You're willing to try anything. You're willing to try an exorcism, holy water, those shaman ceremonies. You're willing to try anything. But however, I would have to advise that you don't go to those shaman ceremonies because everything in this world has been contaminated. We're living on a contingent earth. There's contagions here. And I don't recommend going to any ceremonies because everything has been infiltrated. Everything, to the point where we can't even do what we used to do. I used to go to ceremonies and then the ceremonies got took over by people who didn't know what they were doing, did not even have authority to run those ceremonies, never had the fire passed down to them by elders. And then, it's just a bunch of hippies trying to run traditional ceremonies without proper guidance or authority, spiritual authority. So with you just feel like there's something in you that does not go away, and you've literally paid exorcists and healers to get rid of this, and it just doesn't go away. You also have the bear for your inner work today, and needing to sit back and being more of an observer about the situation. There's a time and place for everything, right? Sometimes we're meant to be bulldozers, and other times we're meant to just sit the freak down and meditate and get grounded. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do. Meditation takes an advanced student. To really sit there with your thoughts. No headphones, no phone, no nothing. I personally, I have ADHD that I believe I got from elementary school vaccines. But I lost my train of thought because there was someone yelling outside. Taurus, you're not happy. You're not happy. You want to leave your skin. Like, you want to leave your skin. You want to leave your soul. You want to leave your spirit. You just want to, excuse my dark humor, you just want to body snatch something and become it so that you don't have to be yourself. Okay, there's no judgment here. There's no judgment here. Please do not feel judged. Even though I represent Saturn, which is usually the judge, I am not. I'm not judgmental. I am not allowed to be. I'm not allowed to be judgmental because who are we to be judges of anything? I see life as a series of lessons, and I just see judging people as unnecessary. Sorry for shaking the camera so much. I'm kind of antsy because there's all this noise in the background, and I'm trying to not get flippy. But if life is a series of lessons, how foolish do we look judging someone else if life is a series of lessons? We're supposed to learn this, we're supposed to learn that, we're supposed to improve this, improve that. Sure, life is infiltrated. But if you think about it, wouldn't we kind of lose our minds if we remembered every single detail? In a way, we have an emotional memory. So even though we might have had our memory wiped clean in between each lifetime by the moon is the one that erases your memory per lifetime. You can't erase it from our emotions. Our emotional memory still remembers those past lifetimes, and that's why I say that it's ridiculous to be judgmental, because if you want to sit there and scan everybody's past life, well, everybody has done some pretty dreadful things in their past lives. They've killed, they've tortured. So just because you did something 5 lifetimes ago, does that make you a great person because you didn't do those things in this lifetime, you know? So for the spiritual advice, we have you needing to be comfortable with your skin. How can Taurus become comfortable with its skin? Because maybe what you're trying to exercise is yourself. Maybe it's yourself that you're trying to exercise. For some of you, I feel that you did something really bad in a past life and you remember it really well. And you just feel like a horrible person because of it. And you just can't shake it, and it's going to take multiple lifetimes to fix what you're trying to fix in one lifetime. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually the point. The whole point is to work on things for multiple lifetimes. But hey, some people, don't want to reincarnate. At least not back on this earth. That's all debatable. The temple path is all about you becoming the best version of yourself, So what? Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. All that you can do is accept that you did some horrible thing in a past life, or maybe even in this one, and be the best version of yourself now. And let me tell you, when you become the best version of yourself and you become clean, you become brighter than an average person that just wants to represent the best version of themselves. So the average person will try to be very moral or very considerate their entire life. But deep down inside, they judge others that are not that way. But they preach and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, you came from the dark. And then you become of the light. Do you know how much more aura, golden aura, you're going to have in comparison to an average person that never went through the dark at all? So, darkness was there first. The source itself came from darkness and arose to represent genuine light. Oh my. So a lot of you are ready to have a family. Or maybe not a family, but a relationship, get married, and you feel like you are losing your mind, or you feel like you're going straight up psychotic because you've been single for far too long and you're tired of the dating scene. Somebody feels like their time is running out. Fear will not permit you to avoid the predestined. It's only a waste of energy. Remain determined. Do not allow love, passion, or strong belief to be tempered by fear of loss. Your destiny is your destiny. So, unfortunately, you're another one. You're another one of those signs that is manifesting loss by fearing the worst case scenario, which is very interesting because it's not, it's completely different from the last reading, but it still has a little thread of a similarity with manifesting the worst case scenario. Humanity's thoughts and mind is very powerful. And what you think and what you say comes true. Abandon your ego and work towards your goal one step at a time. Education, virtue, and diligence allows a soul's inner wisdom to manifest itself. There is no shortcuts. You must earn it. So, this kind of goes with the whole beginning. This is very Akashic. Whatever you feel that is your karmic debt to pay, it's gonna take lifetimes to fix it, all right? Multiple lifetimes to fix something in particular. And that does not mean that you cannot be the best version of yourself now. Imagining. Absolutely. So if you truly want to manifest what you want, you need to imagine what it is that you want. And you could sit there and say that you've already been doing that. No, you have not. You've been sitting there and imagining the worst case scenario. That's like the similarity with the last reading. The last reading had that similarity of using your power to manifest the worst case scenario. Stop doing that. Instead, imagine what you want and what it's going to look like. What color is it? I'm going to go ahead and put these to the side to make room because they're getting in the way now. Okay. Oh, I think I forgot to do one of these for... I don't think I did this for the last reading. Oh. I don't think I did one of these for the last reading, so I'm going to do this for you right now so I don't forget. I get so sad when I forget to pull out an animal omen. Should I take those? That's 3 of them. Oh, they're not good either. Oh no, what are you going through? Dear, oh dear. Do you want to know which ones freaking fell out? You. I don't know if I want to take them because they're not good. They're all warnings. We have the centipede, we have the Komodo dragon, and we have the piranha. Okay? During this time, I'm just going to tell you to be careful of people wanting to throw witchcraft and sorcery and evil eye at you. There's something that you've done that has attracted it. Sometimes it's nothing at all. Sometimes somebody will do nothing at all and it will just attract all kinds of witches. You know, and I would definitely guard from all kinds of that kind of behavior, because if you are using alcoholic substances or drugs of any kind, I would immediately stop using with these kind of omens, because when cards like these come out together, it's like saying that you are under a spiritual attack, or will be if you don't stop something. We have turquoise, protecting your voice, protecting your truth. And we have beryl, protecting your spiritual truth, protecting something that is sacred to you, that is you. And gosh, I feel like some of you feel like you are not a good person. And that no matter what you do, you just feel like you're not a good person, and it scares you. A lot of you need to consider getting a clearing, okay? Finding an exorcist or just getting some kind of clearing. I do not recommend Reiki. Reiki, this is just my opinion, okay? Reiki, it really depends on who that person is. It depends on who it is. If it's someone who it's part of their ancestry, it's part of their lineage, it's part, where it's ran in their families for generations, I kind of like those kind, but those are difficult to find. Jeez. I feel like there is something bothering you that is trying to make you out to look worse than you are. There's like an attachment and you need a clearing. There's on my description, on my homepage, my colleague does clearings, or you can find your own holistic exorcist. That is what I'm feeling. I don't like having to give that kind of news, but I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything. It's, that's why I don't use tarot, because tarot is all about codependency. Codependency. You eliminate tarot, it becomes about the client. It becomes about you, not the other person. Your development, your progression, your spirit, your soul, your power, your authority, and not wasting time on codependency. So, strengthening your faith. My gosh, I couldn't even say the word correctly. What is going to strengthen you is you strengthening your faith. Someone in here is 42 years old. And using the color lilac, being more compassionate towards yourself. Okay? And gently figuring out how you're going to have something detached that is causing this. It's going to be different for all of you, but just strengthening your faith in the meantime between now and when you find whatever will make you feel better. For those of you who are not dealing with this, It could just simply be booking an acupuncture appointment, booking a massage appointment. Know that you are not alone, and some of you are having issues getting pregnant, getting married, and you're taking it personal because of your hormones. And you have to understand that you're not the only one dealing with these issues. So don't treat yourself like you're the only one, because you do that. You treat yourself like you're the only one. There are many, many people that are having issues in the love department. Okay? So let's do some. I'm finished with the messages that I have for you. Did we do a rummy for you? Let's do a rummy for you. I cannot continue without doing a rummy card for you, especially with what you're going through. A lot of people are tired of being single, okay? So don't ever feel like, oh, well, everybody that you know is married and settled down and has children. Sure, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know if they just settled. You don't know if they're really happy, and why does it matter? Why can't Taurus just be happy for those who are married and happy instead of comparing yourself, Be happy for other people that have found their person. You need to arise during this time. This is you in live time, Taurus. It's very important for you to be happy for others. When you are not happy for others, you are throwing evil eye at them. A lot of people don't understand that every thought has an effect. And how have your thoughts and wishes towards others affect you ultimately? Because ultimately, what is the evil eye? What is the evil eye ultimately? The evil eye is the spell that you throw to yourself. And if you're wishing harm upon someone, that's not going to hurt them. It's going to hurt you. So when we are jealous of others, we're just throwing that towards ourselves at a universal level. So really, when you wear the evil eye, you're just protecting yourself from yourself. That's just my opinion. There's consequences to every single thought, especially when those thoughts are towards people that never wish that towards you. There's people that are genuinely happy and bubbly and wish well upon others. And those are the ones that get attacked the most by people with negative thoughts. People with the evil eye that cast it upon themselves, but there's still a residual. There's still a residual that ends up being a form of witchcraft that does and can harm the victim if that person is at a weakened state. So if you're throwing jealousy or envy at somebody who's at a weakened state, you can harm them. Not only will you harm yourself, you will harm them. And there's this energy of perhaps someone around you finding their spouse and you not being happy for them. That is going to affect you. You have to learn how to be happy for people. Okay. Let's continue on. And if you are in separation, be mindful that in this segment, sometimes you get cards from past people or people who just want to be with you. I can't reach out. And that's another thing Tauruses are tired of. I can be myself with you. So I don't know what comes next. Tauruses are tired of like ghosty behavior. You know, like Tauruses need someone solid. If you're not solid, don't waste Taurus's life. Don't waste their time. It's supposed to be don't waste their time, but I said don't waste their life. Because when a Taurus commits, they commit. They're capable of giving you their life. And when you waste their time, you're wasting their life. I don't know what comes next. Some communication needs to be had with somebody who can be, if they can be themselves with you, then like when I see this card, I just don't get it. I can be myself with you. When I see this card, it's like, okay, if you feel like you can be yourself, if you feel like you can be yourself around me in the 5D, why can't you be yourself in the 3D? Can someone tell me? See? I can't reach out. You can't reach out, but you feel you could be yourself around Taurus. You let me down. That is probably your past person. You let somebody down from your past. I hope that you can forgive me one day. I can't stop thinking about you. Taurus always has an ex that has unfinished business with. Always. I wish things could be different. And I want you. So I remember last time we did a reading for you, somebody wanted you and somebody wanted to settle down. You just have to control certain characteristics about you. Because when you allow certain characteristics like yelling or aggression come out, it makes the other person run. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Bye. Hi, Gemini. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Gemini likes getting straight to the point. Gemini, my. So I thought that whenever you had an identity crisis about 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago or was it a year ago? I thought that it would go away. I thought that issue would go away, but you took an identity and it has not gone away. Maybe it will in a couple months. But for now, you've chosen an identity that I honestly feel is not the true you, but I'm not here to judge. And we're just going to have to do a reading for this new you. It's very interesting to do a reading for someone who shows the world what they think the world needs to see. you have this mask, right? So it's like I'm doing a reading for somebody who, Geminis, you guys wear masks, and you're wearing masks. Look at those cards go flying. You have been wearing a mask for quite the time, and I know who you are when you take the mask off, and I miss that person so much. I miss the Gemini that I miss who you were before the new identity. Like, I really do, but there's nothing you can do about it, you know? When I am very familiar with Geminis. I just am. I am very familiar with Geminis. And even though there's a lot of Geminis with my friend groups and family groups, there still will always be a mystery with what you're going to do next and what you're going to be, who you're going to become next. Anywho, let's begin. So, a lot of people need you. A lot of people rely on you. A lot of people depend on you. And it's important for you to understand that you have an influence, even where you think you don't. And a lot of people witness your negative characteristics, and they take your negative characteristics or negative personality traits or negative habits with a grain of salt. So I don't know if you have younger siblings or some kind of situation where you are needed to show leadership, some kind of leadership, or some kind of I just get this where you get better grades than other people. Like, you're a top student, you get really good grades, you're smarter, your IQ is higher than the people around you. I need to charge this and make sure that I plug this in. Give me 1 second. All right, Gemini. Sorry about that. I had to get some coffee. That is probably too hot to drink right now. Okay, so we were talking about people around you. I guess at school. I want to say either at school or at work. It just seems like you're smarter than people, but you feel like you have to survive. And so you put on this surviving mechanism mask that portrays a certain identity that is not really you. We've been talking about this for a year now, I believe. So the inner work is about making new beginnings. These new beginnings are going to come in the next, I want to say, 2 months. Okay, you know what? Between 2 months and your next semester or your next grade level, you're finishing school now. By the time you start a new class, a new grade, your new semester, there's going to be some kind of change where you're going to be able to feel like you can do a new beginning. What is going to be very interesting to me is observing you, observing Gemini, observing what you're going to do when you're put in an atmosphere where you can be yourself. Are you going to choose to continue being this costume, this facade, this identity that you've taken on to survive? Or are you going to let your hair down? Are you going to start buying what you really want to buy? And not just what you think other people want to see? For your spiritual work, we have you needing to get back in tune with your musical instruments, your creativity, your painting, your art, your singing, your psaltery, your soul song, your drumming. That's what you need to get back into as you wait for the change to come. Gemini, you are very bright. I just want to tell you that. Even though you have this protection mechanism, that is there because of other people. Your protection mechanism is there because other people choose to be in the Stone Age. You know, there's some people that just don't want to progress. They don't want to evolve. They don't want to become better. They don't want to improve. They don't want to clear negative energy. The list goes on. And I don't want to blame it on other people, but putting myself in your shoes, it's because of other people and how much they suck that you feel that you have to put this persona on. And you're such a bright person. You have to obscure your light. You have to obscure your talents to be accepted in your mind. And I can't wait until you go to a new school, a new job, a new neighborhood, so that you feel more comfortable showing who you really are. Because you are so bright. We have a contract. Perhaps cutting contracts, cutting leases, going to a different school where you don't have to put a mask on, getting a divorce. Maybe you're married to somebody who you have to wear a mask for. Divorce him then. We have man holding a coin, somebody being interested in you, a newer person wanting to take care of you. Somebody may be wanting to even marry you, but you don't want to give up your freedom. Gemini does not want to get settled down. I really don't think that a lot of you want to get settled down. I don't get those vibes. I kind of don't. I do not get those vibes at all that Gemini wants to settle down. I don't think so. Gemini wants to be free, and Gemini is aware of the dangers of dating. You know, yesterday I was watching a documentary because I like crime shows. I went to school for administration of justice, and at some point I was going to be a police officer. I went to the police academy and everything. And yesterday I was watching a documentary on a couple that used dating apps to lure their victims and then killed their victims and ate them. So I tell you that because I want to disadvertise for dating apps. Please don't use dating apps. Dating apps are so freaking dangerous. Refuse to be used. Isn't that crazy? At the same time that we're talking about this one slips out. Refuse to be used. Pull away from your fears and refuse to be a victim. You will never be happy if you don't end the toxic arrangements that imprison you. Love yourself. You deserve to be better. Whether it is you using yourself, you exploiting yourself or you allowing someone else to use or exploit you. That's a no-no. How are your emotions, Gemini? The emotional world of Gemini. Oh. Yeah, exactly. This is the equivalent to this. Be careful. You are allowing lust to take over. Lust is not love. Lust will hurt you. Lust and one night stands, all those things are spiritually toxic. When you have a sexual relationship with somebody in the 3D, their energy stays around your aura for 8 months. So if you're letting somebody just toy with you, they're going to stay in your auric field for 8 months. What if you're serious about somebody and they feel blocked because there's someone else's energy in your space that's going to stay for several months? It stays there. So when you have multiple partners, you've got multiple people's energy in your auric field for 8 months. Okay. A blessing is trying to come your way. Blessings are not delivered until the person is open and ready and removes the obstacles that are hindering the blessing. We have building blocks. Right now you feel like there's blockages, but it's like a Tetris game. If you can just play Tetris really well with your life, you're ultimately going to get to the next level, and the next level is going to be a blessing. I don't think that you understand. Right now, you might feel like there's a little clue, a little hint. And you feel like it's too good to be true. But there's something coming that's going to make you very happy. I feel like it's going to be delivered either in 2 months or by the next school semester. Tapping into your highest wisdom indeed. Gemini, when you are not distracted and you are in your highest capabilities, when you are in, because sometimes we're not in our best form. Sometimes we show up kind of low. When you show up and you are feeling powerful and confident, you're able to tap into the highest wisdom. And when you're not, and when you're down and out, you don't tap into your wisdom, and you can be very, I want to say, foolish. And you need to be careful with going between the two extremes with your dualistic abilities. Be careful with going down foolish and up high and then enjoying the down foolish realm. You were here to tap into the highest wisdom. And be careful with not deteriorating away from your tapping into your highest wisdom purpose. Let's get an animal omen for you. This deck was made by a Gemini. So I basically just edited them. I just edited them, glossed them, added paint to them, but they were designed and made by a Gemini. So what a Gemini has to say to another Gemini. Ah! My cards are falling all over the place. We have the emu. We have the emu. This is one of my favorite. And, well, okay. The bird is my favorite animal, okay? The horse is my spirit animal, but the bird is my favorite animal. And the emu is up there as being my top 3 favorite kind of bird. I'm into emus and finches, pigeons. Believe it or not, I spent my whole life hating pigeons. I'm serious. I hated pigeons, and one day I fell in love with one. I fell in love with a baby pigeon that it fell from a tree branch and only survived about 3 days. I believe it's like 9 out of 10 baby birds don't survive under human care. And I had never been in a situation like that before. I mean, I've had other situations, but not particularly with such a young animal. And it probably was wounded from the fall, so it only made it 3 days. But within those 3 days, I was able to fall in love, and I fell in love with the sounds of the baby pigeon bird. There's different kinds of pigeons. This one, I believe, was the one with polka dots on its neck. It's like polka dots. It looks like a polka dot necked pigeon. I don't remember what it's called because there's different breeds. But anywho, in those 3 days, I fell in love. And I had to work a lot. I wasn't home that much. And my roommates were not being tentative to, the injured bird really had no chance in surviving. It was wounded and very small. But within those 3 days, I fell in love with the sounds that it made. The sounds that it made were similar to the whistling of a whale. And I had no idea that they can create such beautiful sounds and tunes and communication. But anyways, this is the emu, and this is who you are in your natural form. I'm gonna cry right now. I'm gonna stop myself from crying. God. The emu is who Gemini really is when you're not wearing the mask. The emu shares the same personality and characteristics as I have. I have the same personality, traits, and characteristics as an emu, and that's why I love emu so much, because all they want to do is play. And Gemini is the same way. All Gemini truly wants to do at a soul level is play and be happy and be goofy and be aloof and make people laugh. This is who you really are without a mask. And it just makes me so sad that you feel that you have to wear a mask. And I can't wait to put you. I can't wait to see you in a different environment where you feel safer to come out in your genuine form. We have the color coral, the color that you need to use more in your life. You see how those go together? The emu and the coral. All allow flow and synchronicity into your life. Some of you might be 18 years old. This color is about being who you really are and not being ashamed of who you really are. Okay, so I'm gonna put all these to the side. I have such a mess to clean because I had an entire deck fall. Getting so excited for you, getting the emu as your animal omen. So I believe that most of you are single, and if you're in a relationship, it's just a temporary amusement. But anywho, multiple people might come forward. They could either be past, present, or future people. The first card that we have that fell, I don't want to pick it up because I would have to pause. It says, I don't want to know. I can see it from here and I don't want to pick it up, okay? And it says, I don't want to know. Your person doesn't want to know what you've really been up to. You didn't see my tears. So maybe a past person is still hurt because they got broken up. I want to say dumped because they felt dumped. Dumped is such an ugly word, but that is how they felt. They felt that you dumped them and they felt dumped. Someone else feels so drawn to you. I don't want to let you go. Another past person. And because that one fell on the floor, I'm going to give you one more. I am in a committed relationship for another one of you. This does not mean a person all the time. Sometimes it does, but for others, sometimes it just means that there are other commitments that are a priority that don't necessarily have to be a relationship. Just because these cards can be kind of ruthless, so I have to soften up the significance if it, doesn't apply to you in that specific manner. I want to feel that way again. Ooh, Gemini. Last time I checked in with you, there was nobody interested. And now there's like people wondering what you're up to. I wish I could take back my words. It seems like a person from the past said something to you that hurt you and you were interested in them. And when they said something like that hurt you, you just cut them off and you went off to the next person. And now the past person is like, wait. And you're like, no, I'm not waiting. I'm already gone. You don't know how hard it was to let you go, or so they say. It really pisses me off when people wait for you to walk away to say something. Like, I was facing you for how many years and you wait for me to walk away to say something. I remember every detail of that day. Okay? And that is all that I have for you, Gemini. Till next time. Bye. Hi, Cancers. What have you been up to since the last time? These are shuffled. I might not be able to use this deck because, let's see. They're facing different ways and making it hard to shuffle. Oh my goodness. Because they fell. So, let's see if they want to work with us today. Cancer, see? Oh All right, you need to rise above. Okay, this is the very first card that wants to come out for you. The situation that you are in, you need to rise above that situation. Okay, that's why we are here today. Let's start off with our medicine cards. Physical work. What is the physical work that Cancer needs to work on during these times? Physical work. I might actually do all three. Okay, so the physical work is all of my relations, getting along with people, doing more networking, doing more communication, sticking your neck out. Life is too short to be introverted at a Cancer level. The inner work is you needing to leave the problem in order to find a solution. If you're having housing issues, leave the house. If you're having car issues, leave the car. If you're having marital issues, leave the marriage. Isolate yourself from the problem so that you can figure out a solution, because people rely on you. They are dependent on you. They watch your every move. You can never get away. You can never get any privacy. You need an escape where you can go off and be by yourself, get an Airbnb cabin, buy a fireplace, and listen to your own thoughts. You cannot be there for people. You cannot be there for the crisis. You cannot be there for the drama. Fixing the drama, fixing the soap opera, fixing the house. You cannot be there for everyone all of the time if you do not get time for yourself. Some coffee. These are just general readings. It's not going to resonate with everybody. You can't swallow in peace. You can't eat in peace. You can't knit in peace. You can't bead in peace. As soon as you feel relaxed and you're about to make a work of art, somebody comes in and slams the door and the beads go flying everywhere. And now you're angry, and now you can't continue your healing jewelry because now you're angry. Because you never have time for yourself, and all you want to do is you. You just want to do you. You just want to do your craft. You just want to do your jewelry. You just want to do your prayers. Prayers keeps evil away with the power of words. When you pray, that is like incense to the heavens. If you ran out of incense, you pray for the house, and your prayers smudge the house with the Holy Spirit. I'm angry. I'm angry for you, Cancers, because this has been like this your whole life. And now that there's all this crisis, they're expecting you to fix it all. All the people that are expecting you to fix everything are grown adults. Some of them are younger than you, and these people have children. And they're expecting you to solve the issues having to do with their children. No. I wish you would disappear. I wish you would just pack your bags and say, I'm going on a vacation, but don't call it a vacation or else people are going to start stuff with you. You can call it like a mental health gathering. You're like, I need to leave for the weekend. for a mental health gathering of thyself. Bye. Or leave a note, whatever, and just leave. And when you arrive at your destination, when you arrive at your little cabin or wherever you chose to go all by yourself, you put your phone on airplane mode. And you tell everybody to freak off. Okay, I am sick and tired of watching you be everybody's salvation. People need to fend for themselves. This is why I don't do tarot, because tarot, it all sounds the same. It all sounds the same. It's all about somebody else. What about you? What about you? What about you? What about you and your sanity? Who is considering how you feel? You're always saying sorry and excuse me, but nobody is ever considering how you feel. Chaos and conflict. The noise in the background continues. Forgive me. The tribe. Okay, you're always expected to take care of the tribe, even if you are a female, because most likely you're the female expected to do everything in this particular situation. You know, we live in really strange times where there is no divine feminine and divine masculine. Like, where are they? All I see is a bunch of women having abortions and a bunch of men not taking care of the feminine and expecting the feminine to take care of them. Yeah, I said it. That's my rant. You know, that is not divine. There's nothing divine about murder. So, what was my point? My point is that you're the female and you're expected to do everything. You know, I guess that's just the epidemic. The epidemic of these days is that the woman is expected to hold the world on her shoulders. You know, like that statue where there's this man that has the world globe on his shoulders? Well, the 2025 is a woman expected to hold the world on her shoulders. You know. Have you guys seen this YouTube channel called Palin Lifestyle? I think it's like Pailan, Palin Lifestyle. This woman hunts her food every single day. And she records it. She records how she hunts for her daily food. And, well, she has a bunch of dogs, like just dogs that she takes in, and she has to feed not only herself but the dogs. So she goes out and hunts every single day, barefoot. This woman hunts barefoot every day for the meat, and it's different kind of meat. Sometimes it's eel, sometimes it's goat, sometimes it's fish, sometimes it's just very peculiar, unusual things that we're not used to seeing people eat, but it comes natural to her. And she does all this barefoot with no weapons, you know, just her bare hands and a little basket to collect everything. And on top of that, she wears a long skirt. So this woman is out here, long skirt, barefoot, hunting for the dinner for her and all her dogs that she takes in with her bare hands. You know, how does she make modern masculine look? What does the masculine do? They go into the store, big, huge beer belly. They buy a 30 pack of beer and they buy a piece of meat that's already been hunted, packaged, and sliced in a container that says $9 a pound or whatever, and call yourself a man. You know, the real men back in the day used to take care of women, and now women are being murdered and tortured like never before. A lot of people are going to get mad at you because you're going to walk away from the chaos and conflict to check out and just leave. For some of you, you're going to say, but I can't leave. Yes, you can. There is someone guaranteed in your house that is old enough to take care of whatever you need taken care of. They have taken advantage and take you for granted for so long. They made you believe that you can't leave. Yes, you can leave. There's someone old enough that can take care of the responsibilities while you're gone. Go get an Airbnb, an oceanfront, like whatever you want. Don't even tell anybody about it. Just tell them you're leaving for the weekend. When you come back, you're going to be like a magician saying abracadabra. What is that other one? Hakuna Matata. You're going to come back from your trip and you're just going to fix everything so fast. And after you fix it, you're going to look at everybody and you're going to tell them that they need to take responsibility for their own shit. Because this is ridiculous. Everything that people put you through, and I'm sorry, you allow it. Where are people's gratitude? Where are their thank yous for all of this? These are too many. I'm going to put them back in. It's difficult for me to shuffle because I'm so frustrated over your situation. If you are a male, it's probably a spouse or a family taking advantage and granted of you, and you're just coming off as a very protective feminine energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. We both do have both. We all have both energies. I'm just ranting about the lack of role models in this generation. Where is the feminine role model? A lot of the women that are depicted on TV are transsexual born men. And then that does something to the masculine's brains, and then the masculine thinks that the feminine is supposed to be masculine because they've been lied to by so many transsexuals that come off as women when they're not. What a lot of people don't understand about Hollywood or Illuminati is that a lot of those people, in order to qualify to even enter the industry, the parent has to consent to a sex change at birth. Okay, so what does that mean about all your celebrities that you're masturbating to? You're sitting there getting off to somebody who was born the same gender as you, and they just tricked you into believing that all these people were male and female when they're the opposite gender. All you have to do is study the skeletal structure, and you can clearly see by their jaws and lack of hips that they are not the gender that they portray. Anywho, we have a new gown. A new gown. You need to put on a new gown. You need to take on a new identity, a new wardrobe. And this new wardrobe is no longer going to let people walk all over you. Do you understand me? Enough is enough, and you have to stop people letting walk over you. For some of you, you need a divorce. For some of you, you need a restraining order. For some of you, you need to just disappear Like, the main one I get is disappearing and not telling nobody where you're going. That's the main one that I got from the beginning, but I didn't want to say it. Did we do one of these already? I don't think so. This one is about communicating about the elephant in the room. Okay? Stop. Like, what is it with people sweeping things under the rug? People just sweep things under the rug and not talk about the elephant in the room. Come on now. A lot of anger here. We might have to clear some anger because there's so much anger in this reading. The anger is going to be cleared as you stop allowing people into your life. I don't care if it's a family member. You keep using that as an excuse. Oh, well, it's my daughter. Oh, well, it's my son. Well, even your son or daughter can be extremely abusive. Okay? And you have to put a boundary on them. As long as they have everything they need, they have something to eat, they have some water, you can go disappear in your room and barricade yourself in there, play loud music if you want to. Lock that door. Learn how to lock your bedroom door. Because family members can be very abusive. What color does Cancer need to incorporate more in their life? Which one was it? Okay. Letting love in. We have pink. Letting real love in. Letting love in. And I feel like this has a lot to do with you loving yourself and letting you love yourself. Like, let love in. Let the love, like, for you, for yourself. A lot of you, as usual, you're going to get tempted to go on this Airbnb trip with another person. I guarantee you that if you try to go on a spiritual quest with somebody else, you will have an argument with them and you will waste your money and your mental health will be worse off than it was to begin with. Okay? The Airbnb trip that you need to make or take, whatever, has to be a solo trip. I cannot emphasize that enough. Animal omen for Cancer. Animal omen for Cancer. We have the crocodile. We have somebody in your life that's being deceitful. Okay? And I'm sure that you intuitively know who that is. I feel like a lot of you need to get a divorce. For reals. Like, I don't even want to do these for you. Hidden or I don't even want to do these for you because that person doesn't even deserve to be expressed. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do these for you. Okay? Because I'm not liking the person that you're dealing with. And if I do these, it will be like enabling their lies. Okay? Sorry, Cancer. I'm sorry. It's just that I am intuitively being, I'm protecting you from their overbearing energy, their abusive, narcissistic, controlling, manipulative energy wants to take over these to basically cuss you out and control you, and I'm not going to allow that. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Hi, Leo. This is going to be a reading for you. Physical work that Leo needs to work on. I'm going to put that back in because I wasn't done shuffling. Physical work that Leo needs to work on during these times. Okay, so we have your foundations. Leo needs to work on your foundations. What does this mean to you? Is this a physical foundation? Is this a metaphorical foundation? Is this the foundation in a marriage, the foundation in a relationship, the foundation of perhaps the first house that you're getting ready to buy? A lot of you had a plan to buy a house or a condo, and because of the political law and those kind of things, you've reconsidered buying property in a different state, and you're rerouting your initial trip. So what is happening in the world politically has affected everybody on an international level. Whether we want to be affected or not, we are all collectively affected by the decisions of our political leaders. Therefore, many people have had to reroute their business plan, their housing plan, their migration plan. People needing to move back. People needing to go here. People needing to go there. People needing to shift around to their last resort. A lot of people moving back in with their parents. Those kind of things, not because, well, some because they can't afford anything else, and some because they don't know where to buy property because everything is such a hot mess where it's not even safe to buy property. So many things to consider. And you feel like you are on shaky ground, unstable, shaky ground. So where were we? We were here. You're just looking at life like literally a deer on headlights. That is Leo's reaction to life right now. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. You had all these plans, and all your plans felt like they just caught on fire. For some of you, this is just a general reading. If it's not resonating with you, it's just not your story this time. It's a message that somebody else needs to hear. So this is Leo in lifetime, and you are just dumbfounded. You are shocked. You are debilitated. Discouraged and just lost, whether you admit it or not. You are, I guess you think you're good at poker facing, but you're not. The only person that's good at poker facing is Capricorn. Everybody else is not good at poker facing. They can try. Something is wrong with you. And you use substances and drugs to cover up your interior, what is going on inside. You continue to have traumas that you refuse to release, associated with resentment. You and Aries, Leo and Aries, refuse to get rid of their resentments towards the people that hurt them. And when you refuse to release that resentment, you are stuck with mold. Interior mold is very dangerous. You want to clear that mold. You want to clear that humidity, the dampness that shouldn't be there. Acupuncture, if you're dealing with this physically, will release that pressure of being over damp. Acupuncture alleviates issues of you being too cold or too hot, too damp, too dry. Maybe the acupuncture will help release your trauma, resentment regarding trauma and what your mother did to you. What if oh my gosh, I can't talk. What if what you experienced, what your mother did to you, you did to your mother in a past lifetime? Who are we to judge? If somebody chose to be a really effed up person, why are we going to resent them? By you resenting people, you are tying yourself to them. So if that person is going to hell and they're diving headfirst to hell, you having resentment towards that person ties your ankle to their ankle. And when they fly into the pits, the bottomless pit of hell, you're going to go with them because you are attached to them through resentment. And that's what I need people to understand. We cannot go with them. There is a fork in the road, in the spiritual world, in the moral world, in the universal law of everything. There is a fork in the road, and you are either of the genuine light associated with unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness, or the other fork, and that fork is resentment. And the fork of resentment leads to where you don't want to go. And as instantly, as soon as you release all resentment for your own healing and your own breakthrough, you get victory. This is just for some of you. This is just for some of you. But I wish that you would pity the person who hurt you. Instead of having resentment and hate and judgment towards the things that they did to you that you will never understand, have pity on them. And for some of you who are a higher level, have mercy. Because just imagine, what could they have been done to them? What have they not told you that was done to them that made them be such a effed up person? And the only reason why you still have these issues with trauma is because you haven't released that resentment. Even if it means on a daily basis, you have to do things on a daily basis because things come back. Sometimes. Eventually, you will have victory over the situation, but I don't want that person to pass away and you resent them. I don't want that for you because of what they did to you. I want, gosh, I don't want to say harmony, because I know that for some of you that's out of the question, but sometimes you just have to imagine what that person went through. And when you look at how people are raised, it gives you more compassion towards the situation, where you think, wow, that's what my grandma did to you, and what you did to me was half as bad. So if what you did to me was half as bad as what your grandma did to you, that means there was an improvement. And you might not be giving someone credit for improving a generation, where it is at least a level up more than what they had. If someone can give you a level up more than what they had, there is love there. Even if it's abusive, there is love there. And I'm talking about a family member. I'm not talking about a marriage. I just went off for a certain group that knows what I'm talking about. And I'm very sorry that you had to go through that, but oh my. Resentment is a very difficult one to clear, because it comes back, and that's why we as humanity are supposed to do forgiveness chants every day. I forgive you, you forgive me, dear soul, mind, and body of all the souls that I have hurt, that my ancestors have hurt. Please forgive me. All souls that have hurt me or my ancestors, I offer you forgiveness. And you do a meditation or a chant that is like that, where there is offering your forgiveness and asking for forgiveness. And the easiest way for me to clear resentment, after years and years and years of studying Taoism, is by clearing it all. Because a lot of times people will be picky and particular, and they will say, oh, well, I'll forgive that person, but I'm not going to forgive that person. Okay, well, automatically, you're not going to be able to clear nothing then. You have to be ready to clear it all and put it all in a ball. Everyone that you refuse to forgive, put them in that ball. Don't cherry pick nobody out. You see how hard that is? You already want to cherry pick the most recent ones. You have to put them all in a ball. From all lifetimes associated with your lineage. And offer forgiveness to them all. And the ones that you harmed and your lineage harmed, you also have to put in that ball. I'm sorry, I meant to say the ones that harmed your ancestors and your lineage, that you have to offer forgiveness to them. You forgive the ones that harmed you. You also put them there. The ones that you harmed, you also have to put there. And ask for forgiveness for the deaths that you caused in your past life. Where does disease come from? Where do health issues come from? It comes from dark souls. Dark souls, victims of past life deaths that you caused. They don't come from nowhere. They're not mysterious demons. They are dark souls that you have harmed in other lifetimes. that are no longer alive that are coming for you. That's where disease comes from. And when you put them all in a ball and you offer forgiveness and ask for forgiveness, you have completed your daily forgiveness practice. And that is how I remove resentment, and must be done every day, because things will try to leave that ball. And that is when the resentment leaks in, and that is when the mold comes in, because then there is a contamination and you have to redo it all over again. Esoteric knowledge and wisdom of life are not obtained through formal education. Cultivate that variety of wisdom through your own experience. Life must be lived and is not a debate of whether or not it is meaningful. Life is meaningful, okay? It is our ego that tries to make it not. Regardless of what anybody says, even the infiltration, don't you think that at some level, even the infiltration was requested at some level? Nothing can exist without something else creating it. So, in a way, don't you think that we consented to some level to the chaos that is just like a video game? Sure, there's infiltration, but there's some consent to some degree to be reunited perhaps with people that you love. Who knows? We have milk and honey. Milk and honey. Life is like milk and honey. Look at that. It's a beautiful elephant and he's bathing himself in milk and honey. All right, let's do an animal omen for you. And then we already did these two, so let's put these away. Let's do a color for you. Did we do your emotions? Emotions for Leo. Animal omen for Leo. Color for Leo. Honey. Honey, honey. If you came from effed up parents, it's because they couldn't handle a pocket full of sunshine. You were like this flaming ball, the sun. And your parents were dark. And when you were born, you burned them with your love and light. And they dropped you and they did you dirty. Because they, look at this. Look at this. Oh my God, you guys. Attract abundance. Some of you might be 21 years old. This is gold. This is the color that you need to work on. Is attracting this to yourself, because it's what you were made of. So when you were born, you burned your parents with your love and light, and that's why they put so much responsibility on you. Oh my God, that's what your trauma is associated with. Your trauma is associated with them burdening you at such a young age and giving you responsibilities they should have never given you. And they gave you all those responsibilities because they saw so much love and light in you, and they took advantage of that. And that is part of the reason why you have to work on releasing that resentment on a daily basis. Some of you have a huge boundary for your own safety and sanity. That boundary is valid. That boundary is necessary, but the resentment is not. You have to learn how to solidify your emotions. Your emotions are the reason why you do this low-key addiction. There's a low-key addiction that you do that at some point you're going to have to cut it off and say, no, I am no longer going to continue to doing this addiction. I'm going to face this emotion. I'm going to face this emotion. Sometimes people do you dirty because you're better than them and you're better than the person who did you dirty. Needing to get rid of the heaviness in your life. There's a heaviness in your life that substance abuse is going to make heavier. You need to work on making your life lighter in regards to your emotional world. And substance abuse, like wine, is going to make it heavier instead of lighter. And that's why you feel that knot in your stomach that represents an itch that you will never be able to fully scratch with wine, a knot that you will never be able to unknot with wine, because it's addiction and it's evil, because it robs you of your serotonin, your dopamine, and your melatonin. And who gives you your melatonin? Lord Pineal. Lord Pineal, our pineal gland. Source is ingredient. What is source made out of? Source is made out of pineal gland. And when we are on the right path, Lord Pineal, I like to call source Lord Pineal sometimes, is responsible for dispersing that melatonin and saying, wow, you have been living on the righteous path. Here's a blessing. Here's a gift. Here's some melatonin. But when you're on the wrong path, doing drugs and drinking, you know, no melatonin for you. We have the palace cat. You needing to find a way to hide from the negative aspects and negative characteristics and negative addictions within yourself. You know how the palace cat can disappear in the blink of an eye? You're needing to disappear from your own addictions. If your addictions are playing hide and seek with you, like Freddy Krueger, you need to be able to hide like a palace cat. Friends want to invite you to wine. Nope, I'm busy. The store, the alcohol aisle. Nope, I need water. I'm walking around the corner. There's a liquor store. Sure, I need coconut water. I will even look at the liquor. You know, you're going to have to do that. You've been in denial for a very long time, associating addiction with associating addiction and luxury with alcohol. You know what I mean? That's social media associates alcohol with luxury when in fact alcohol is associated with spirits and Aladdin and demons and releasing them. So that is all the messages that I have for you today. I hope you found something helpful. If you are in separation, be mindful that multiple people might come out in these messages, past, present, or future, crushes, energy vampires, and so forth. If you gave them a mic, what would they say to Leo? All right, we have, I want to start over. I can't reach out. I miss seeing you. I watch your social media. I want to be more than friends. I want you. I don't react when people mention you. And I left you before you could leave me. Thank you so much for watching, Leo. Till next time. Bye.